Hello everyone, this is Tammy. Today I have some more Gypsy tricks and things that I do with the Gypsy, things that I have discovered. So let's get started. On this first example, I have gotten a square and a tag from George. Now I want you to see this up close. See, the tag just has a hole in it, just a regular tag, and there's the square. Now, this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to weld these together. So I'm going to kind of weld it there. First of all, I'm going to group them, and then I'll weld them. Now, they are welded. Let's check the eyeball. Okay, so now notice the circle cutout up here is still cut out. Now I'm going to show you a few things I can do after I weld this. First of all, I've cut this out and I decided that my square was too far up on the little thing I wanted to fold. So what I can do is click, and it's usually about 2 to 3 times when the image turns purple. And I can drag that, and I can do whatever I want with that. I'm going to move it down here to weld it, and then I'm just going to click off. Now, let's click on the eyeball, and it is welded exactly the spot that I just moved it. So you don't have to go through the whole process and unweld everything and start again. Now, just notice this little circle here is still, when I have the eyeball on, it's still going to cut out. I'm going to show you something a little different. Let's go to this layer. Okay, on this camera, I can't remember which one I got this from, but there's all kinds of little lines all over the camera, if you can see that up close. Just little lines for placement of the different pieces, the different layers that it has. Okay, so what I want to do is I'm just going to click it on and duplicate it. Now, I'm just going to move this over here, nothing fancy. I want to show you something. I'm going to group it, and then I'm going to weld it, and let's look at the eyeball. Now, look at this up close here. The red is just going to cut out. So all those marks are grayed, and they're not going to cut out. But remember the last example I showed you, the tag, how the little cutout at the top didn't weld. Inside the image it was still going to cut out, and I'll tell you why. Okay, let's go to this layer, and I'm going to show you something. Now here's another, it's a cell phone I cut out. Now this is the difference. See these lines, like there's a line here, there's a line here. Now there is a square, kind of a square, it's not exactly a square, but that is a cutout on this. If I cut this little cell phone out, it'd have 2 lines here, and that would be for placement of my layers. And then this little window would be cut out. That is the difference. Let's click it on. Let's copy it. And I'll even flip it. Let's see. Did I flip it here? Okay. And let's, act like we're going to weld that together into a card, just like I did the cameras. And let's go with the group, and then the weld. Now let's look at the eyeball. Now, if you can see that, those images are still going to cut out, those squares on the cell phone, but these images are not. And this is the reason. When you weld things, if it is a cutout, you can't weld it. You would have to use your hide contour. If it was just the little lines, and sometimes they even give you lines for words. There's just the words in a line, not really a cutout where you're not going to get like an S out of it. Those also, nothing that, unless it's a cutout. Now on the tag, we'll go back to that tag, and I had my eyeball on. Go back to the tag, and remember, it was a cutout. It just wasn't a mark, just wasn't a line. So this is how I could take care of that too if I had forgotten. I can click it on, and remember, until it turns purple, I don't have to move it, but I moved it. I can use the hide contour, and then I can move it back, click on, and it is still welded. Okay, so if it is cutouts, you do have to take it off with either the hide, you would have to use the hide contour. But if it's just placement lines, you don't have to. Now here's another neat little thing. I'm going to go to this layer. Let's ungroup these. Let's ungroup. Okay, now I want to show you something here. Okay, it's ungrouped. Okay, let's click on this, click on this. Okay, let's click on the eyeball, and whoop, because I still have it welded. Yeah, it's unwelded. Okay, well, I kind of did this backward here. Let me delete this and I'll show you something cool. Okay, so I have this image and I'm not really sure if I want all those lines. Sometimes when I do the layering, those lines show up. So this is what you can do. Now, a lot of the cartridges do have a blackout, and you can use the blackout. They all don't, but sometimes this is a quicker thing. So I click it on and copy it. And all I have to do is have this one clicked on, and whoop, I'll weld it. Okay, it's just welded. And I will show you. See how it's like it's cutting. Remember, I have the eyeball on. See how this piece will not cut those lines out, and this piece will. So all you have to do is click on the piece, click it on, and weld, and that gets rid of all of those little placement lines of the layers. But now remember, it doesn't get rid of the cutout. Say the front of the camera, this was totally a cutout, it wouldn't have gotten rid of that. So it's just another neat little fancy little trick you can do. Like I said, there's other ways to do it, but I found this pretty helpful for me. Well, I hope you enjoyed it. Thanks for watching.